Hello everyone, this is CounterYolo, bringing you another video in Star Trek Online. And in preparation for our new Borg TFO revamp stuff that's going on this month, and in coordination with other stuff that I'm working on this month for theoretical builds, today I'm going to be talking about something quite a bit different, something that I've been working on for the past couple weeks, which is a unique consoles tier list. There's nearly 300 consoles in this list, so I honestly, it would bore me out of my mind to actually go over all those in this video. I will go over my brief journey in like, I don't know, 30 seconds, and then I'll talk about what's actually in the tier list itself, what the tiers actually mean, as well as how to get to my Google Drive to access like the Excel spreadsheet and such of that actual tier list. I'll then conclude with a couple of fun console stuff at the end of this video that's just kind of fluff and for fun. There will be time links in the description, but this is going to be a really short video. You probably won't even need it, frankly. So let's just go and get started. As you all can tell on the channel, it's been over 2 weeks since my last video. And I did say I was going to start off the year with some, or end of the year with some theoretical builds, which I have been brainstorming. And when I do brainstorming, I typically start with some bridge officer layouts that I think of that might be good, as well as some console combinations in conjunction with those bridge officer layouts. I kept on researching, and I kept on finding more and more cool consoles, and it started to make me go a little insane a little bit. I originally had my fun little lists in a Word document, but then I realized this is getting a little too insane. There's hundreds of consoles to look through. I think it's better if I just do an Excel document and I just keep on sorting things out as I like consoles more and just like other consoles as well, and just keep on moving on in that fashion. So I feel that that's kind of where I went, and that the theoretical builds will end up taking about a month. So I was like, well, let's at least put out a video, say that here's a tier list for you all, and if you're curious about some stuff, you can look through it. Obviously, it's not going to be exact. I mean, one person looking at 300 consoles isn't really going to be a super objective approach. Generally, when you get a lot of other really smart people who have lots of numbers in front of them, that's when you can get a more definitive types of things when it comes to a tier list itself. But this is just my opinion. I'm not sure this has ever been done before. I've looked, and I mean, there's people that have done some more general things like put these type of consoles on your ship first, but no one's really said, here's a tier list of every single console, and we're just gonna say, let's pretend that every single console can be used on all ships, and we're gonna ignore console limitations in that aspect. For this list itself, we're going to be ignoring any type of console that you can put more than one of on your starship. So that means most crafted consoles, as well as all of our fleet type of consoles, will be excluded from this list. Every single other console in this game will be included, as much as I could find information for their existence in the game, which in my list ended up being 291 consoles over the first 10 years of this game. There's definitely a good chance that there's consoles that I missed in that list. If you have a couple of consoles that you really like, feel free to look through that Excel spreadsheet and see if I missed anything. There's a good chance that I probably did. There's a lot of consoles out there in the game. Here's the actual tier list itself as to what letters A through F actually mean. There's only 5 consoles in A tier because very strong meta-defining consoles are really rare in this game right now. B are kind of consoles that are like kind of equal / a little bit stronger than fleet consoles. C are kind of like your average middle of the road, a little bit weaker than fleet, but still all right. D are kind of like your filler ones that, you know, maybe give you like 10% damage, but are still fine. E's are your super situational ones that maybe for a niche one-off build, it's good, but otherwise you probably shouldn't be using it. And F tier are the handful of consoles which I was looking at and I'm like, I'm not sure there's any situation where you should be putting this on your starship. So unless you're going for a theme build and need those consoles, like For instance, if you're wanting a battle cloaking Enterprise E, then you probably should be avoiding those consoles entirely. And I went through and put all the consoles in Tier Maker as well after I made the Excel document, because if I was organizing that first in Tier Maker, that would just be a nightmare. But here's just some snippets out of that actual picture, because the whole long picture wouldn't fit in one little scene here in PowerPoint. There's A, B, and C, and then D, E, and F for all of the consoles as well inside of the game. And the stats for that is in the Excel spreadsheet. And again, that's not going to be in this PowerPoint because it would just take way too long. And I do not have an SGO Reddit post for this because, unfortunately, SGO Reddit has a 40,000 character limit. And whenever you're talking about 300 consoles and having commentary for every single one of those consoles, you can't stay within 40,000 characters on Reddit. So I was not able to make a post on this, unfortunately. If you want me to talk more about this type of stuff, I'll probably have to do it via YouTube videos because Reddit just won't work for this type of thing. So anyway, here's instructions to get to my Google Drive itself. My homepage for YouTube is a little bit different than yours. I have customized channel in YouTube Studio here instead of the subscriber button and the bell icon. But the important thing is that somewhere in this corner over here, you should have a link here available to go to Facebook. This is a link that goes to my Facebook for this channel. If you click that link, you'll be able to get to a page that looks something like this. There'll be the featured video of Bartle's taxonomy that I've been too lazy to change or take down. I think it's still good. It was a response to a rant that Florian had, for good reason. He had a rant on that. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll get to the pinned post, and this is the pinned post here with a link to the Google Drive. It looks weird, but the link works. Just click there, and you'll get to the Google Drive itself. If you want to get depressed about videos that you might not ever see ever happen on the channel, feel free to click my current plans, which are very ambitious and probably most of them will never happen. The written script section is very limited. There are a couple of videos, like the SGO Economy video, that were going to be so long and ranty that I needed to have some sort of script to at least reference off of in order to make the video. Otherwise, it would be like twice as long. The PDF files is where you'll find basically the PDF versions of all of the slideshows that I've ever done on this channel. So if you go ahead and click that, you'll be able to go to the year that the video came out, and be able to just to scroll there by the order. They are ordered by year, month, day of whenever the video comes out. I'm just finalizing the recording of this PowerPoint right before I upload it to YouTube and such. So I don't have the PowerPoint PDF here. I upload the PDFs here after I record the video. Or after I decide I'm never going to make the video and the subject, then I'll just upload a PDF anyway for historical purposes. But here already uploaded is the tier list image, as well as my Excel document and the Google Drive converted version of that Excel document, so that you don't need Microsoft Office or an open office type of software on your computer to access that information. And then you can just go and click on that itself, and you can just scroll through all of the different consoles that I have in here with my own little stuff in terms of what the console is, what the stats are, its active effects, the general class that I categorize it in, how you get it, some commentary, as well as the link over here as well. As for some random thoughts, here's a fun little closure for this video. As I said, this is going to be a fun little short video for you all. Here are a couple of consoles when I was going through all the almost 300 consoles, that there were icons that maybe because I'm a little color deficient, that these things looked quite a bit similar. The Tachyon detection grid, which is the next to worst console in the entire game, frankly, looks really similar to the newer console, the Cascading Subatomic Disruptions console, which is from the new Discovery intelligence science vessels, if I remember correctly. Or is it some other one? I don't know. It's one of the more recent discovery vessels that this thing comes from. But the icons are pretty similar. This is just a little bit fancier, more updated, but the general pattern is similar. They're both snowflakes in some fashion. Now, the quantum field focus controller and the resonance cascade modulator are both pretty similar as well. The resonance one has a bit more fancy stuff on it, and that's how I differentiate it. But the general frame of deflector dishes are both pretty similar here too. However, the one that's definitely the closest, well, the two consoles that are really close, is the cloaking device and the molecular phase inversion field. Every single time that I have to put both these consoles on like the same screen, I immediately am like, all right, which one is which? And I have to keep on reminding myself, all right, look for the one that has the thicker neck. The one with the thicker neck is the one that's the molecular phase inversion field. The one with the skinnier neck is the cloaking device. But legitimately, like, any veteran that's looking at a build and doesn't see the actual picture of the ship, they saw either of these consoles, they would probably immediately think cloaking device, because cloaking device is a bit more common than the molecular phase inversion field, just the way it is. Warbirds are flown a lot less often than Federation ships in the game, so they would most likely assume that it would be the cloaking device itself. Some other fun stuff for you all. The EMH science console, which I actually have no idea how to really get, truly no idea. But it's interesting that there is an EMH console, an EMH duty officer, and an EMH bridge officer inside this game. So it's almost like you have an officer that is able to perform almost like any duty on the ship besides actually commanding the ship, which, I don't know, maybe it's because emergency medical holograms are really good at multitasking that they can do all that. I don't know. Just me trying to hypothesize here, but I just saw this and I thought that it was cool, so I'm sharing it with you all as well. As for some other cool consoles, a lot of the old consoles that are not from Tier 6 starships, there's like almost no discussion on them today. So I'd look through a lot of discussions prior to Delta Rising for most of these types of consoles, and in those discussions, the Astronaut Simulator was generally considered the best in slot console for shuttles, and I believe that is still generally the case. That's the general prevailing thought. But then again, I mean, there has been almost like no work for shuttles in like the past, well, basically since I started the game. There hasn't really been any quality of life improvements to shuttles. Also, the other cool console that had a lot of discussion was the Nadion Saturation Bomb, and this was because the Tier 5 Patrol Escort was something that was flown a lot by players, and the Nadion Saturation Bomb was a really nice clicky that scaled with both phaser damage as well as exotic particle generators, which was really nice. I haven't looked at a lot of the scaling stats for a lot of the clickies in the game, in the more recent clickies, to be able to know if this is a common type of thing for a lot of the other consoles in the game too. I would imagine the mirror crossfields console probably scales like this, but I could easily be wrong. But especially if this game starts to edge more and more towards a science energy type of build for the DPS meta in the future, having more consoles like this one would definitely help for players that want to maximize both their energy damage as well as their EPG skill set. And here's just the last two consoles that I wanted to just touch on really quick. There are a lot of consoles that are kind of like one-off consoles that, you know, they aren't super powerful, but because they're stuck to one starship, like, they're like never talked about ever. And the Fleet Coordination Matrix is definitely one of those consoles. Especially for nanny types of builds and tank types of builds, this is a type of console that'd be really cool to have. It's just a really nice team-wide buff to your whole team for extra bonus damage and accuracy. The temporary hit points kind of really doesn't matter, but the rest of the stuff is all pretty cool and pretty nice. But yeah, it is stuck to the Jupiter carrier, so you basically will never see this on any build in the game. So Lastly, the peripheral refraction array. When I was looking at a lot of the stats and constantly thinking to myself, why do I not like the DPRM console so much? Because, you know, it has a lot of damage and a lot of survivability in it. And then I saw this console, because I didn't really look at Zinc ships too much in the past, and I was like, huh, I really like this activatable on this thing. So for this particular console, on 3 of your 4 facings, you get a large amount of shield resistance and shield regeneration. On your forward facing, you get extra damage for the duration. What it basically means is whenever you use this console, you have to choose between extra survivability and durability on your starship and extra damage on your starship with the clicky. You don't get to choose both, frankly. So, and I think that's actually pretty cool. That's more of like when you're facing whatever enemy you're facing, do I need the survivability from this clicky to right now, or do I need the damage from this clicky more? I think being able to have that choice is really nice instead of, you know, being consoles that are like that just give you both, so you don't think about things. Especially because a lot of the newer ships seem to have less and less thought behind them, especially from their consoles, and a lot of them are quite a bit weaker than ones that we're expecting to have from starships. Be able to see one of these old ones and are like, huh, there's actually some serious nice thought into how this activatable is actually functioning inside the game. I mean, the console is definitely gearing more towards survival than damage, but it's got the option for lots of damage too. If it was all bonus damage, it'd be way more worthwhile, but it's still okay nonetheless. And so, yeah, that's basically it for this really short video. Whether it's today or later on this week, we should have the Borg revamp TFO starting, along with our last of the coupon token stuff for PC, starting out this week. At the end of the month is whenever we should be getting the anniversary stuff to really start and get going. This stuff will just last a couple of weeks, and then that's going to begin. So hopefully y'all have fun with it. I would, as someone who has played all of the Borg TFOs, at least in the past, on a normal, advanced, and elite, I highly encourage all of you that have not played Into the Hive to at least play it once. If you don't have, if you're not confident in your ground builds, just go in it on normal, and just go ahead and just enjoy the story of it. Hopefully with the revamp, they've added some cool new scenes and things to that. That was my favorite mission before, when it came to the Borg TFOs in the game. So hopefully we've added some more cool stuff to make it even more enjoyable to be able to play through it as well. Hopefully they made it a little bit less grindy as well. But anyway, hopefully y'all can have fun with that. I'll be going back into the game pretty soon as well to go ahead and do that and see how they're changing and adding any new cutscenes and dialogue and stuff to the game too. Yeah, I don't know what new stuff they're going to do for the anniversary yet. There's going to definitely be some large drops in terms of stats. They've hinted that there's going to be at least 10 new ships that they're going to be releasing with the anniversary. So that's going to be a lot of content for this channel too. So when that stuff drops like normal, within 48 hours, I should have a video up. It used to be 24, but with the way the YouTube is now, sometimes YouTube loves my videos and sometimes it takes YouTube like 16 to 18 hours to upload my video, even though my internet is really good here. It just the way it is right now. Anyway, thank you all for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.